Hey, Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. What we have this time is the Yahiko Laser Gyuto 210mm knife. And the core steel on this, it's really not a core steel because this knife is mono steel. It's basically one hunk of steel that's laser cut and then ground to shape and contour. The steel is what's known as AUS or AUS 8 stainless steel. It's a full stainless steel that's got a good reputation for being pretty tough, and it's used in a lot of outdoor type knives as well. But heat treat's typically around 59 Rockwell on this, maybe 60, 58, 59 is kind of pretty normal for that steel. The weight and dimensions on these should be pretty similar from knife to knife. This particular one is 3.8 ounces or 107 grams, so it's pretty darn light. It is a laser in every sense of the word, performance as well. The edge length is about 210 millimeters right on the money, or 8 1/4 inches from the tip all the way back to the back of the heel. The overall length you can see is right around 370 millimeters or 14.5 inches. And then it's got enough thickness at the spine where they've got a little bit of work to contour the grind down towards the edge. So it's about 2.2 millimeters at the back, and then I measured about 1.9 halfway down. And you can see this has a pretty impressive what's called distal taper to it, which means the thickness of the spine just kind of continuously thins down as you get towards the tip. And this is a really good example of a distal taper. So there you go. Look, that tip is mighty thin. And here is the edge profile as well. So this is a very thin knife. And even though it's pretty thin, a little bit of backbone to it, so it's got a little bit of stiffness in the back half of the blade. The front half's got a little bit of flex to it, but nothing overly, out of the ordinary for this style of blade. Performance-wise, it's very, very good. Food release is going to be kind of average, for this style of blade, so you're not going to expect monster food release or food separation, but they do a lot with the, the contour. You can kind of see that with the way the light's reflecting on there, so they do a nice job with that. This is really a nicely crafted blade. The blade height is 45 millimeters, maybe 45 1/4 at the heel, and the handle is a lightweight octagonal ambidextrous hoe wood handle with a buffalo horn ferrule. Really nice handle, good tight handle install up here where the tang goes in. And that lightweight handle is good because it brings the balance point back to a reasonable spot. If it were a heavier handle, it'd be much further back. The balance point would be much further back. But there's your balance point. It's a little behind a pinch grip, but again, it's a very light blade, and the handle's really a nice handle. It's got enough size to it to be a good, gripping handle. 73 millimeters or 2.9 inches is about what I measured where the two materials meet in circumference. You'll notice this has a handle installed. Some people say, what's wrong with that? Nothing. This is a design aesthetic decision on the handle install to leave some of the tang showing. That's an old school handle install. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think it's a really cool look, but it's a nod to the old school style look and install for the handle. They've got a great spot here for your finger for a pinch grip, and so it's very ergonomic on a pinch grip. You could rack it, grip it nicely if you wanted to as well. The balance point we already talked about, so it's a little bit towards the handle behind the pinch grip point for me anyway, my pinch. But nice and light neutral feel. Blade was, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It was pretty darn sharp out of the box, had a decently crafted edge bevel that looked pretty nice. You could, of course, probably get it sharper. It's got nice fit and finish on it. You can see high quality kind of vertical sanding marks for the finish job on it. You've got some looks like laser engraved kanji on there. And let me see if I can get a little bit of a beauty shot here on this baby. A little hard the way it's contoured, but see what we can do. It's just a really nice looking knife. Here's the left side, which is left as you'd be holding it, kind of just plain looking. And they've got a good polish and rounding on the spine. Really nice job on that. It's quite curved. They've got a nice polish relief job on the choil on both sides, so it's ready to rock and roll. Nice and sharp out of the box. Let's look at the edge profile. This is some people might scoff at the steel a little bit, but AUS 8 is pretty tough stuff, so this will give you a little bit of forgiveness in a professional environment. It's still thin, but it's not as finicky as a high hardness, like powdered metallurgy steel, something in the 62, 63, 64 Rockwell range. So this has a really good all-around profile. It's got a little bit of flat towards the heel. It just kind of flows into a nice stop at the heel, and then you got some flat in the back. You got a gentle belly in the midpoint and a little bit more belly towards the front. So the tip's starting to dig in right there. You could sharpen this with a little aggressive upsweep on the last couple millimeters of the tip if you wanted to get that higher, but it'll go pretty high on a rock. It's real nice for chopping towards the back. Got a good kind of mid-belly, low belly in the middle part of the blade for some you know, push-pull cutting, glide cutting, that kind of stuff. So really versatile profile. This is a very well-executed knife, and you know, would work great at home or in a pro kitchen. So this is the Yahiko Laser Gyuto 210mm knife.